What's up, everyone? In this video, we're going to be going through Warren Buffett's top stock holdings and the moves that he has just made recently. Warren Buffett is one of the most successful investors of our time. This chart shows his Berkshire Class A share performance, and it basically just does nothing but go straight up. Like, yeah, it had some downtrends here and there, but for the most part, it goes straight up. Warren Buffett clearly knows what he's doing, so in this video, we're going to look through his largest stock holdings and the recent moves he made. Towards the end of the video, we're going to be going through a couple different ways that you can replicate exactly what Warren Buffett's doing. So stick with me, we got a good video today, and let's get right into the Oracle of Omaha's holdings. So, looking at Hedge Follow, we can see that Warren Buffett is clearly a fan of Apple stock. It represents 47.6% of his portfolio, which is quite a bit. That's a large percentage. But his other holdings might surprise a lot of you. You know, Warren Buffett isn't out here holding a ton of Tesla, AMD, and Nvidia. He's actually holding stocks like Bank of America, American Express, and Coca-Cola, and that's what I think really drives, or what really makes his share performance very stable and consistent, especially in like times that we're in right now. If we look at the NASDAQ right now, it's all over the place. If we look at growth stocks or even stocks like Tesla, like sometimes they're down a little bit and sometimes they're up a lot. And you know, I guess you could say the reverse is true also, but for the most part, when we look at like Berkshire shares, it's very, very consistent. And I think the fact that Warren Buffett owns a lot of these value type stocks is what really drives that consistency, and that's a great thing. So while Warren Buffett has a large percentage of his money in Apple, he also has a large percentage of his money in stocks like Bank of America and American Express. He owns 13.6% of his portfolio is in Bank of America. 7.5% of his portfolio is in American Express. He also has a pretty large holding in Apple. You know, that represents 7% of his portfolio. He's also holding companies like Kraft Heinz, Moody's, Verizon, and US Bank. So that's big. Of course, he has made some recent moves with like the oil industry and stuff like that. But overall, like he's diversified, obviously, but he's doing it in a smart way in the sense that, yes, he owns a lot of, like, he has stocks that have potential to grow like Apple, but he also has a lot of those safer value stocks like Bank of America, American Express, and Coca-Cola. But let's look at some of his recent moves. So if we sort this by new moves, we can see that Warren Buffett has recently put billions of dollars in OXY stock. OXY stock is up 6.3% today, so I'm sure Warren Buffett's happy. But with the way oil prices have been moving lately, oil stocks have been on the rise, as you can expect. So OXY has been blasting up. Warren Buffett recently bought billions of dollars worth of this company. OXY, over like the past couple of years, went from $9, which was the low in November of 2020, and then today it's at $61, but it has an all-time high of $117.89, which it hit in May of 2011. So it's kind of mid-range right now when you're looking at this long-term chart, but in the short term, it's clearly on a strong uptrend, and Warren Buffett clearly sees a lot more upside potential with it, because that's why he's buying billions of dollars worth of it. So that's interesting to know. Also, if we scroll down, he has also been recently buying into NU and ATVI. That's big too. Also FWONK, and those are like most of his recent moves. News also came out the other day on how he bought into HPQ, which was actually the topic of yesterday's video. But this stock is trading at a pretty nice level too. Generates a lot of money, solid dividend, lots of share repurchases, and growing revenue, which is good too. So, you know, he definitely knows what he's doing in the stock world just by looking at his past performance, and it is nice to see him buying into companies like HPQ. I also like how he bought into AppV with the gaming, I guess you could say the gaming industry, but AppV is currently set to be bought by Microsoft, so that's interesting. But overall, I also want to cover how to follow Warren Buffett in a smart way. Of course, if you want to, you can see all of his holdings basically on hedgefollow.com and then go to Berkshire Hathaway if you wanted to. But you might not want to do that, and here's why. Of course, like I said, if you want to, you can go to see his holdings right now. Apple, Bank of America, American Express, and Coca-Cola are his top holdings. But there's a better way to follow him, and that's by buying his stock. Because check this out. Sure, you can find out that Warren Buffett was an investor or that he bought HPQ, but let's go back and look at that CNBC headline. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway reveals major stake in HP. Tech stock soars. When the news that Warren Buffett bought HPQ was released, this is what the stock did. It basically instantly went from $35 up to $40. So it's like, yeah, sure, you can buy after that news, but it's like, you don't want to be doing that because you're going to have to pay a significant premium. So instead of just looking through this giant list of stocks that Warren owns, instead of just doing that, you can just buy his shares. So you do BRK, and then it's his Class B shares. So it's for Thinkorswim users, it's BRK/B, and you can just invest into his holdings, and it's easy. And instead of buying HPQ after it's up 10% or 20% or whatever, you can get in before, right when Warren Buffett gets in. So that's a cool trick. Of course, they have the Class A shares, which would be BRK/A, but these cost like $530,000 a share, so you probably wouldn't want to do that. But if you go to the Class B shares, they're trading at $350 a share. A lot of these brokers nowadays, like especially Robinhood and a bunch of other ones, allow you to buy fractional shares. So like, let's say you wanted to kind of follow Warren Buffett. What you can do is you just do Berk B shares, and then you could, like, if you didn't have $350 to buy one share, you can just buy like $100 worth of it on Robinhood using fractional share investing. So that's cool. I will say this. Warren Buffett is definitely getting old. He's 91 years old right now, right around there. So hopefully Berkshire's performance continues to be very admirable in the future when Warren Buffett is not with them anymore. But overall, looking at Berkshire's past performance, it's been pretty awesome. Another interesting thing I think a lot of retail traders can learn from Warren Buffett's investing performance in history is obviously he's done an amazing job, right? Like here's his performance ever since 1995. He has done extremely, extremely well, and he hasn't done this fully based off of like technical analysis or anything like that. He does a lot with fundamental analysis, which is extremely important. We covered HPQ and Warren Buffett's trade or investment in HPQ yesterday. If you are looking to dive deep more into the fundamentals behind any company, check out that first link in the description down below. We have this brand new stock dashboard that makes fundamental analysis a lot easier. Traditionally, you'd go on to like Yahoo Finance and you'd have to look through boring charts and data, and it's just like a bad process. We have this brand new dashboard. Basically, you can type in any stock ticker and instantly see the most important fundamental data points, and you can see whether or not the company you're looking at is worth investing in. Basically, it's an awesome dashboard. You can look at any data you want on an annual or quarterly basis. You get full access to the financial statements, and you can even calculate your own stock price target. So definitely check it out in the comments and the first link in the description. Like I said, Warren Buffett is not out here looking at head and shoulders patterns. He's using fundamentals. So keep that in mind, and thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Have a great weekend.